Wow, Linda, Carmela, what a great interview you two have had. I am fascinated. I've got two journalists in the room, and one of the big topics that comes up is how do we attract attention? And I'm just wondering what headlines you've used, Carmela, and Linda, what's your take on headlines and how do you help people get a headline that grabs people's attention? Because they've only got like 1 or 2 seconds and they're gone.
That's right. The headlines have to be concise and they have to actually display really what's in the copy. So a lot of people tend to use a lot of words in a headline. Very occasionally you can get away with up to 10, but generally it's 6. And I always like to use quite snappy headlines, but depending obviously on what the story is about. Obviously it's a very, very serious story, then you have to tone it down and make it work within that article. But otherwise you can make some really snappy headlines because you've got to catch. What you're aiming to do is catch people's attention. And first of all, you have to catch the journalist's attention, because if that is not in that subject line as a headline, baby, you've got no chance. It's about you, Carmela.
Yeah, I think it's looking at the point of view of the journalist. They're in a hurry. That, like I said, it's a path of least resistance. If something's written well, they just look at the top line and it's like, yeah, great, we've got our little sound bite. We can make our heading out of that. We've got our opening sentence. Then they're very happy to use that information.
Yeah. I often see in articles and in newspapers and in magazines and all advertising, we have the headline, but then they've got this sub-headline below that, and some people use one and some people don't. What would be your take? Do you think it's important to always have a sub-headline, or is it a give and take mishit? What's your opinion on it?
Are you sure that's not someone's byline?
Well, you're the journalist, you see. I call it a sub-headline.
You have to have meta descriptions now.
Yeah.
So
oh, there we go.
I'm just laughing. I'm just sorry.
It's teasing me. You've got the headline and then it's got this little byline, or whatever you call it, underneath.
Oh, the byline is the name of the person who's written.
But how important is that, what I would call a sub-headline, or more of a detailed description of the headline before we get into the copy? How important is that from a journalistic point of view to attract people's attention?
Well, I don't.
I think only if they are putting something out on digital media, then they can just lift that and use that as part of the Google search. If they have a little subheading, then that helps just getting higher up on their Google pages. So if it's digital, I think it probably is quite useful for a journalist.
Right. And for a business owner, when they're saying, this is what I do, and you're writing articles and you're trying to attract, let's take for a practical example, your retreats. I mean, that's a big take that you did. How on earth did you get people to go, hold on, that sounds really interesting, and get to pay attention? What types of media do you use to attract people into that new form of your business?
Well, I think a product like that, which really is a product, it's very much a visual kind of thing. So if people can see where they're going, they see some amazing resort, or what the foods are they're going to eat, then that's half the battle, because you can do a lot of it through photos, and people immediately will respond to something that they can just see. And Linda's helped me a lot with that.
So Linda, when you're looking at a visual, where do you decide where to put that for people to see it? And where did you put it?
a visual,
Yes.
you mean an image.
Yeah, but for that particular type of marketing, it's going to be very visual marketing.
It is a visual marketing, but also I think you have to remember that you have to not put too much copy there, because people switch off. They don't want to read. They just want to know exactly what's in it for me. You know, why should I go on this retreat? What is it about it? And fortunately, Carmela's great. She's got chefs that will go and show them how to cook, so they know. Say if it's Indonesia, she can get Indonesian chefs to cook the food of the locality, which is also very nutritional and very healthy. So the people, her clients, can actually go home armed with these recipes to be able to cook them themselves. And how much nicer is that? You're going somewhere like that, you're not actually going to cook a normal Western dinner. You can do that at home. Why can't to have the opportunity to be able to have someone come in and say, hey, come on, we're having a cooking class, take part. Wow, yeah, pick me.
I'll
have some of that.
Very true, yes.
So for that reason, I think there's lots, and also you do a lot of relaxation as well, and the detoxing aspect of it, which I think is a really fabulous thing to actually have as part of the retreat, because you're going to this retreat, you want to relax, you want to de-stress. Part of that de-stressing is getting rid of all those bad things that you've probably consumed. Too much wine, chocolate, all the things you shouldn't, even though you're still eating your healthy diet. We all get off that, don't we, sometimes? So to be able to say, well, we'll have a day of detox, or this is what you should be used for detoxing, and these are for the reason why. Actually, Carmela's better off to say that, because I might be getting into difficult waters. I don't actually really know how to detox.
Yes, I think it's because people have a bit of a misconception that they're going to go somewhere and all they'll get is like a carrot for dinner or something like that, or a lettuce leaf, and I just really want people to learn that that's not how it is, because you can eat like the healthiest food. You can go on a detox program and really enjoy what you're eating, and you don't have to be hungry or anything. So it's getting people to understand that it's still very nice.
Now that's a very comprehensive product you've put together there, for lack of a better description of it. How long does it take you as a business, like running your business and 2 clinics, and then putting together something like that? Was it a long process? Was it something you built? And if someone said, I wouldn't mind doing something like that, what are some of the steps you'd say, this is how I began? How did you manage to formulate it in the first place?
Linda's helped me a lot, and I think it's working out, like finding the right people that can help you makes a big difference, because you can't just do all this stuff on your own, or like you say, you're juggling everything. So it's getting as much support as you can, get that network in place, so you can get so-and-so to help you do that, so-and-so, and just making the most of other people's skills is really the best way of doing it, I think.
Yeah.
So are you booking in?
Yes.
Sounds like it.
I think he needs it.
We won't do any coffee enemas with you then.
All that coffee, all that beer.
Yeah.
Linda,
Sorry, Mike.
As a PR person, and you get such a comprehensive product with so many elements, how does a PR specialist like yourself begin to even unpack it so it is understandable by the audience that's going to start seeing it and reading it?
I think every business is different in its own way. So everybody has a story, and I think once you have to get behind the story, and I believe that it's all about emotion, really. People want to relate to other people. They want to relate to your story. And yes, of course, you can do a straight business article. Well, that's fine for that. But otherwise, why, you want it for all sorts of areas that you can, say, for the nutrition that you can put it into. So you might get somebody who's, for instance, has the chronic digestive disorder and use them as for their story and find out what helped them, what they like before. It's a bit like people when they, this is a before and after weight loss. So, and you package them differently and you target them, target audience. You can't just blanket everything.
So,
Yes.
with such a dynamic business, Carmela, where do you go now? What's the next dream and what's the next ambition for your business?
I'd love to produce some recipes, recipe books for people, and I'd like to start a meal plan service as well, so that people can access like the full meal plan online, and every week they'll have something. They'll know what to cook, they have the shopping list, they have the recipes to make it easy for people, and that can be tailored to whatever health condition that person has, so very personalised. And because it's online, it means it gets out to so many people.
That is exciting. One last question for you, Carmela, and I am conscious of your time. Someone who is thinking going into business for themselves now and switching careers as you did, any advice?
You just got to do it. You just got to follow your heart, haven't you? And jump in. It's just like I always picture it as like jumping off a cliff. You've just got to do it.
Leap of faith.
Leap of faith. Don't overthink it, I'd say.
Linda, your parting words for someone going, I want to give it a go?
I've already booked into her retreats, 3 of them. She's not going without me. So this woman is quite remarkable, and I suggest you all have a look at her website actually, and come and join us.
Yes, and for people in business looking for some help with PR, Linda, obviously, how's the best way to contact yourself?
Well, you can contact me at eyesonnewmedia.com, but email me, linda@eyesonnewmedia.com, and I'll respond.